Hi, my name's Dr. Tim Martin. I want to share with you some things that I've learned about the impact that the average healthy American diet has on your body. I have been teaching patients for years to eat low fat and low calorie and to eat whole grain foods. I noticed that this didn't seem to make much of a difference in their lives. Once I realized that eating the typical healthy American diet was not actually resulting in health for my patients, I decided I would spend some time researching what actually would help. I would like to demonstrate for you some of my findings. What we have here is ordinary table sugar. What I want you to understand it to represent is glucose. All of the carbs that you eat get turned into glucose in your blood. Glucose is the carbohydrate that your body naturally uses. So when these have sugar in them, I want you to understand that as the amount of glucose that your body has to handle in a day. Let's start with the typical healthy American diet. So you get up and you have a bowl of oatmeal and a medium-sized banana and some orange juice. Great. That is low fat and that is low calorie. That's also a quarter cup and an eighth of a cup of carbohydrate that your body is managing that morning. On your way to work, you're going to get a skinny latte. And in the middle of the day, middle of the morning, you're only going to have a half of a donut. The skinny latte and the donut is almost, not quite, 2 teaspoons. At lunchtime, you're going to go to a local deli. You're going to get the whole grain bread with, let's say ham and cheese for you. You're going to do a small or medium-sized apple instead of something like a dessert. And you're going to do some sun chips because they're whole grain and they're baked. That is also a quarter cup and an eighth of a cup of carbohydrate. In the middle of the afternoon, you're going to get some whole grain peanut butter crackers. 1 package, and that again is a teaspoon and a little bit more of carbohydrate. Now finally for dinner, you're going to be sure that you're going to eat a low-fat meal. So you're going to have some whole grain pasta, some marinara sauce, a couple of just small garlic toasts, and some sweet tea because you've been good all day and you love sweet tea. And wait for it, folks. This is 3/4 of a cup of glucose. And the sweet tea wasn't the problem. Most of it came from the whole grain pasta. Before you go to bed, you're going to have just a half cup of fat-free ice cream. 3 teaspoons. And this is your glucose on a day on the healthy American diet. Let's look at one alternative. So this day here, we're going to wake up in the morning and have 3 eggs, 3 pieces of bacon, and a little bit of coffee with cream and Splenda. You know how much carb that cost you? 1/4 teaspoon. For a snack mid-morning, you're going to go ahead and have 1 ounce of pork skins. No carbs. At lunchtime, you're going to have a chicken breast on 5 cups of salad and vegetables with all of the olive oil vinaigrette you want. Now, a cup of lettuce has 1 carb in it, so that gives us 1 teaspoon of carb that your body has to process. In the middle of the afternoon, you'll have some olives and some dill pickles. There's just barely any carbs in that. For dinner, you'll have 8 ounces of sirloin cooked however you like. That's very filling. Add 3 ounces of broccoli and probably some unsweetened tea or some Diet Coke or some water. There's barely a teaspoonful of carb in that broccoli. Now, before you go to bed, I want a snack. So I'm going to have 22 almonds. That's 1 serving. And again, there's barely any carb. This day was about 1,500 calories and very low fat. This day was about 1,800 calories and actually still low fat. But I had more to eat this day, I'm more full and I was never hungry this day. What I would like for you to understand is that if you're eating what is recommended to you in books, in magazines, and online, you're going to be eating about 2.5 cups of glucose a day. You can go down to as little as a few teaspoons of glucose a day and still be full and healthy. Here's what I want you to understand. Our country is facing a crisis of obesity and diabetes, and it's all being fueled by excessive carbohydrates. And so, if we all learn to cut the carbs and eat more meats and vegetables, we can reduce our weight and our risk of diabetes.